Well, it's been an interesting week for news. Researchers, first of all, claim that when the extra second is added to time on the 30th of June this year, it's going to cause havoc to all our computers.
Does it sound like Y2K?
Doesn't it just? And the Russians are demanding proof that America landed on the moon.
Demanding.
They want to know. They want to know what's happened to the footage, which apparently disappeared in 1980s.
Sounds more like the Cold War era.
Absolutely does, doesn't it? And more recently, the sixth mass extinction on Earth has already begun.
Well, after the fifth one, isn't it automatically the sixth one? So entropy is what goes on this planet, and this is what we call life. That's why, isn't it normal?
Sure, it's normal. What they're saying here is species are disappearing 100 times faster than normal. Researchers are actually warning it could actually take Earth millions of years to recover from this, and humanity could be likely to disappear early on in this process. How much of this can we believe?
Yes, we can believe most of it because there's truth in it. They've found hives of bees, millions of bees dead around the world. Many other animal species are going extinct really fast. But if there's anything we can do about it, sure, really works for something. Otherwise, telling people the world is ending, the end is nigh.
Scaremongery.
Does it really sound like the Middle Ages?
No,
the end is nigh, we're all gonna die.
5 years ago, Australian microbiologist Dr. Frank Ferner made this claim, and people are saying, it's started, and it could be a rapid demise.
There's an Indian saying that I love. Once we run out of water to drink and food to eat, we will understand that money doesn't really solve anything.
Beautiful
it's
statement.
Rephrased by me, but
I heard you said that before, and I've actually noticed it somewhere on the internet. If this is actually fear-mongering, I want we talk about films at times, portraying true life and things that do happen. And will
by the way,
happen.
I have found an explanation for those films. Why they reveal all the hidden agenda. Why they reveal the whole plan to the humanity. Mm-hmm. Just like Jupiter Ascending talks about a harvest.
Yeah.
And many other channels talked about a harvest or humanity being slave to other races. And, all have been labeled some things that I shan't say. But the explanation comes in a very logical statement. It says, we live in a free will part of the universe. And this universe, among many other universes in this multiverse that we are existing in, the free will has to take place when the subject knows and consents to what's happening to it. And when you declare your agenda, when you declare what you're going to do in a movie setting, people don't believe it because it's
a movie.
Fiction. It's just a movie. It's for entertainment. And consent comes in silence. Because you don't object to it, your consent is automatically taken. Yeah. And you are subjected to being a subject.
So obviously you think we're consenting to this?
I can't talk for humans, but many people who don't realize, many people who haven't woken up, many people who try to get on with their lives don't know what's going on. That's why they give their automatic consent.
It is interesting you should say that. I mean, I've watched a couple of films in the past where it's talked about, or it's tried to portray the end of the world is coming for whatever reason. And it causes civil war. It causes people to go crazy. People go crazy about the fact that we're going to die. And there's pillaging and there's, could we get to this state?
Yes.
What are you smiling for? you like that?
No, I don't like it, but I don't hate it either because that's how you sort out the weed from the crop.
Yeah.
Why does it happen? Why does someone go into chaotic mode? Fear of the unknown. Fear or lack of trust, lack of faith that they are good in themselves. When they die, they'll just vanish and they try to consume as much as they can, which consumes their humanity in return. Why does this happen? Because it has happened all the time.
It does. And maybe the reason it hasn't happened yet is because, as you just said, when you see things in films, it's not real. It's in a film. But I think when people start realizing, wait a minute, this planet is starting to demise very quickly.
Next few years, we definitely will see, we are going to see an alien landing and the American government making a deal with them and trying to declare them benevolent.
This is going to happen.
This
in-
is
in
their
our time.
last card.
In our
And
time.
this is, yes, in our time, in the next few years.
Unless they already haven't made a deal with you.
Why do you think aliens always land in the United States of
They always
America?
do, don't they?
Because the movies are made there.
Yeah.
Why are movies made in California different? Because it's the industry there. Everyone has the technology, everyone has the knowledge. Why is it different there? It's the energetic imprint on the movie. When you see it, you know it. You don't know it consciously, but you feel it subconsciously. When you're consciously aware of your being, you may even see and feel what it is in those movies that make them the Hollywood genre.
The 9 veils that shroud the human soul. You very kindly, and I'm glad you did, sent me a copy of this.
I
last
actually
week.
made you read it.
You actually made me. You did last week. You wouldn't let me go until I read it, and I just couldn't. It wouldn't sink in at the time. But I've had a good read of it this week. The veils, I take it, are barriers.
When you talk
move
about
through these different stages.
when you talk about something so subtle, that is a change that is only an understanding.
Yeah.
We should use very simple words, just like veil and shroud. Think about it this way. When your blood sugar is low, you feel like you have a brain fog. You have less tolerance for yourself and others, and that's why you
And
are more
feel like
agitated.
You feel like shit as well.
Yes, and you feel like shit. Think of it this way. Your best being or your best condition that you feel yourself in is not your fullest potential. You can be a lot more clearer. You can have a lot more energy. You can be a lot more peaceful, but you don't know it yet because you haven't gone on that level.
A realization.
Yeah, it's just an understanding.
Yeah.
The whole shift, the whole transformation we go through is in understanding, nothing else. But in understanding, when you change something, when you change the perception of yourself, your body, your actions.
You're changing more than just a perception.
Yes. Your understanding changes, and because your understanding of reality changes, reality is underlined and bold and italics here. Because your understanding of reality changes, your reality changes. Literally.
It was talking about a lot of people don't even, quite a few people don't even pierce the first veil.
Let me give you an example. Let me give all of the people who listen an example to all us three. I was a very keen denier of fasting because I thought when you starve your body, when you deprive yourself of food and drink and water, you're just killing your body. The more I researched on it, yes, the data is correct. The more you deprive yourself of some things, the more you kill yourself. But in your current being, I've gone through 2 programs that took 12 weeks in total. And I've had my first meal as in a cup of lentil soup and 1 piece of artichoke this morning after 4 days.
After 4 days.
Yes,
My goodness
4
me.
full days.
How did you feel?
Only
after that?
liquid.
How did you feel before you actually had that meal?
I didn't want to eat.
Yeah.
And it took me quite some time to get over the meal. Let me tell you this. Tuesday morning at around 7:30, I had 1 slice of bread with tomato and white cheese, as in Turkey we call it the white cheese, the cheese, goat cheese, and some pesto on it. That was the first and last thing I ate that day. Next morning, I had 1 cup of lentil soup and nothing else until I had my meal this morning. I just didn't want to continue not eating because I had a goal of 3 days and I achieved it. I didn't achieve the goal of 3 days, by the way. I achieved a lot more clarity and I lost 5 kilos, 10 pounds.
Apart from the physical thing that you lose, surely when I can kind of understand this, if you deprive yourself like this, if you kind of cleanse yourself, all your toxins
Cleansing,
out of your
yes,
body,
exact word.
it gives you a more sharper
Of course,
outlook on things.
because the more density you have in your body, for example, food,
Yeah.
your body is working on it to dissolve. And your body is working on some other things than percepting, understanding, increasing knowledge, being connected, or being in the flow state. And when you just leave that aside and you, in my case, hydrate yourself really well
Yeah.
with good supplements, it's like monatomic gold, you become more conductive in your body, in your brain. And I told you, I lost 5 kilos, 6 actually, but let's say, 10 pounds
In 3 days.
in 4 days. And I could still do my jiu-jitsu training. And I was more energetic. I felt lighter. I felt better. It was all around an incredible experience. I loved it. This is an understanding. This is a change in understanding.
Sure, I mean, you have to have the mindset to do that, surely. I mean, we all say, we can go on diet, or we're not going to eat, we're not going to do this, we're not going to do that. But it doesn't last very long for most people. What is the process of getting through that? How did you feel you needed to eat at all during that time?
Once, I felt like I needed to eat once. And apart from that, none. I was really surprised myself because I love food, man. My wife is a chef and I love food. I love eating. You know, I'm not vegetarian or vegan or anything. I eat meat, not in the quantities that I used to, and I used to compete internationally in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu tournaments. And, you know, I know my body. I know how it can work. And I'm telling you, it worked a lot better than the times that I ate. I've had 2 sessions with 2 friends of mine online, internet. One helped me clear a pain blockage that I had on my right shoulder for...
You've had that a long time. I've
yes,
seen you
9 to 6 months, around a year.
Yeah.
And it's gone. Maybe it was time to go, but it's gone. Maybe it's placebo. I'm really thankful for that. Because I used 15 boxes of painkillers.
Yeah.
And these are not your usual painkillers. You can only buy them with prescription. And they didn't help. But this session helped. Because I've changed my understanding. I've changed my mind and soul. They are now aligned. That's why these 9 levels of understanding will only talk to people who are at that level of understanding. Yeah. When you're closer to the upper echelons of your own level, you will understand that there is something else beyond what you think is real.
Why do you think it is that most people don't question things, just take things for
comfort
what
zone.
They are?
Being in the comfort zone. It's called what it is. Buddha says, question everything everyone says, especially me. Who does that? If you're trying to establish a religion, which Buddha was not trying to do, he didn't claim to be the spiritual being of a messenger. He didn't claim to be anointed by God. He just was. He just was a good person. Or in his own understanding, he was a person. He was a human being and nothing else. And he says, question everything.
I think the reason maybe we don't question, looking at the first of these 9 veils, is the conditioning. We go through the conditioning when we're kind of told what we should, what we can, what we can't do. This is the rules. And they tend to stay with us throughout our life.
Society and family give you directions about your own identity.
Yeah.
And if you take them, think of your life as a movie and you're given a script. In fact, you can write the script, you can direct the script, you can act the script, you can choose to act, you can choose not to act, and be the leading actor in your life or be in your life. Just be yourself. Be the best version of you that you can be.
Yeah.
This is the first level of conditioning. If you're told this is what you should be doing because you're a boy, and you take it for what it is, hello, you're in the first level.
We do. I mean, if you look at how people act, we do at times break the rules because we feel good about doing that. But the general consensus is we are not, we know how far we can go, or we're told how far we can go. But who's telling us this?
There are 2 ways in this sense. One is breaking the rules, breaking the law, knowing that it's wrong. And the second is not obliging. You don't acknowledge that there's a law and that law is for your good. Just like what's happening about marijuana, weed in this world, in this time. It was banned. It was illegalized.
Classed as a B-class drug, and it was okay to use in some countries. And now they're saying...
by the way, I don't smoke, drink, or anything. I just don't consume anything other than water or some juice.
Soup.
Soup, yeah.
But now they're saying about marijuana, it's safe just once a week. Basically, they can't actually back down and say, oh, okay, well, really, there's nothing wrong with it. So they're kind of moderating it by saying, okay, 1 a week is all right, but any more, then it could be dangerous for you,
If you need someone else to tell you what's good for you, you may need to think about it again.
But we're conditioned like that as children, aren't we? And your parents tell you this is right, this is what you should be doing. We go along with that.
Of course,
some of us don't
but
change.
it's your job to wake up and stand up, just like Bob Marley said. Wake up, stand up.
Yeah.
Remember, that's a song that really gives you a very good example. Very good example. Could You Be Loved? That's another song by Bob Marley.
Yeah.
Listen to the lyrics, man. Tupac, why was he killed? You know, everything comes to this. If you have more understanding than you should for the powers that be,
You're dangerous.
I was feeling dangerous myself a little second ago.
How do we see these veils? What
When
kind of
it's
understanding
time,
do we
the
need?
veil is revealed. We talked about Chiron last and his take on language. The veil is revealed because you have another layer of veil.
Yeah.
Read about the second and third and fourth so that we can understand what is covered and what is behind the curtain.
So, say maybe if you were thinking about, I really want to start to stand up for myself and be myself and do what I wanted. What should we be doing first? Looking at ourselves? Questioning ourselves? Or questioning other things?
Know thyself is the first thing that you can do, which I have as a tattoo on my arm. Knowing yourself is through the other at first. You exist because you are being perceived by someone else. This is from The Cloud Atlas, the movie by Wachowski's. I watched it again last night. It's a 3-hour movie. It gives you a very, very good explanation about what time is, what timelines are, and what soul is. And in this movie, the girl says, you only exist because you're being perceived by someone else. And you only understand yourself, you only know yourself through others. By knowing others, you know yourself. You know your nature. You know the nature of this vessel that you are in. By the way, this story was written in 2010. Why 9 instead of 8? Because 9 is an amazing number. It's the end of our mathematical 10 system.
Yeah, they show a fantastic explanation of this as well, don't they?
Okay, the first whale that you talked about. 10% of us will pierce the first veil and find the world of politics.
Yeah.
We will vote, become active, and develop an opinion. Being opinionated means that you are an individual. Our opinions will be shaped by the physical world around us. We will have been conditioned from our days in public education to accept that government officials, network media personalities, and other experts are the primary voices of authority. 90% of the people in this group will live and die without having pierced the third veil. The first veil is knowing yourself, that you are an individual.
Yeah.
You are separate from the flock. The second veil, 10% of us will also pierce the second veil to explore the world of history, the relationship between men and government, and the meaning of self-government through constitutional and common law. 90% of the people in this group will live and die without having pierced the third veil.
Which we've spoken about.
Yes. This is, if you're in need of someone to tell you what's good, think about it again.
Yeah.
Third veil. 10% of those who pierce the second veil will eventually pierce the third veil to conclusively find that the resources of the world, including people, are controlled by extremely wealthy and powerful families whose incorporated old world assets have, with modern extortion strategies, become the foundation upon which the entire world's economy is currently indebted.
Oh, yes. And with a lot of youngsters of the day, with the technology and the things they have, they would find it very hard maybe to let go of this.
And this is where the conspiracy theorists come.
Right.
Piercing this level, you turn back and try to tell the people at first and second level. That's why I keep trying to show you that you are sometimes stuck on drama. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm just trying to show you that it's a way, it's a being that you look behind trying to walk forward.
Yeah.
The fourth veil, you discover the Illuminati, Freemasonry, and the other secret societies by believing in the conspiracy theories. These societies use symbols and perform ceremonies that perpetuate the generational transfers of arcane knowledge that is used to keep the ordinary people in political, economic, and spiritual bondage to the oldest bloodlines on earth. When you go beyond that, it's the fifth level. And we always say that 10% only breaks through the levels. If you think Illuminati, Freemasonry, or conspiracy theories, the powers that be, do not exist, and still have listened to this far, I congratulate you.
I think these days it's quite common knowledge. There is a lot of people, strong people pulling the strings.
Okay, the fifth one. The secret societies are so far advanced technologically that time travel and interstellar communications have no boundaries in controlling the very thoughts and even the very actions of people is what their members do as offhandedly as we tell our children when they must go to bed. This is a little complicated because the fifth whale tells you that not only do they exist, not only do they control what's material, they control what's not material.
Man,
your thoughts.
They're God, man. They're God.
Exactly. And here it is. As in the days of Noah, this technology is even creating synthetic life forms as man seeks to displace God.
AI.
Yes. And God, in this sense, is not the ultimate creator. God, in this sense, is the being that you think cannot be exceeded because you don't know better. Here we come to the sixth part. And the sixth one says, where we learned the dragons and lizards and aliens we thought were fictional monsters of childhood literature are real indeed and are in reality the actual controlling forces behind the secret societies uncovered in the fourth veil.
I just wonder, when we're children, we children say they have special friends and they talk to
the imagination
right, okay,
leads the world.
Are these dreams and imaginations we have put there by something to foretell us what
I'll tell you
the
one
future's
word.
going to be like?
I'll tell you one word, and you'll understand what it is. What is being an adult? It's being adulterated.
Yeah.
What is a boy but unadulterated? Yeah. When you become an adult, you lose all that quality in you. Absolutely. You comply with the conditioning in the first veil, or second, or third. When you break through the seventh, where the incredible world of fractal geometry and the universal law of numbers will be fully understood and embraced. I myself am not there yet. Well, I know what it is.
You're the sixth veil at the moment?
I don't know, but yes, let's say sixth. And the seventh, the creative force of the entire universe will be shown to be linked to numerical code formulas and sequences, and all mysteries, including the very fabric of time, space, parallel universes, and access therein is unlocked.
Well, we're getting there, aren't we? We're actually getting there.
Those who have, with those whose intellects allow them to pierce the seventh veil often succumb to the lure and promise of the massive wealth offered by the ruling elite, and thus over 90% of the people in this group will live and die without piercing the eighth level. My awakening, my enlightenment started off by seeing through the formulas, by seeing through vibration and energies, and it just made me go through all these veils in less than a year, because I was open to them. But still, fully understand? No. Can I control? Consciously? No. Unconsciously? Maybe. But the eighth and ninth will give you a lot more about what it is. Piercing the eighth level reveals God, which the modern world religions mistake for someone else.
Yeah.
And the pure energy known as love, that is the pure life force in all living things, which are one and the same. Deep-seated humility is needed in order to ever pierce this veil. If you think you are the shit because you broke through veil 7, then you become the shit. Shit that is bagged and sold. You abuse the power that you have. The power of understanding, by the way, the power of creation, the power that you hold in your hand, which is the key to the universe, and you just buy cars, buy houses, where
it works, yeah.
where the universe is waiting for you. Piercing the ninth veil means perfecting the pure energy known as love and thereby becoming truly one with God and his formulations, or her in my understanding. By perfecting this pure energy, one then fully embraces charity and therein gains full understanding of the universal plan of sacrifice, death, and redemption. Life itself then becomes complete and one truly comes full circle and looks at the world through the eyes of an innocent child.
You know, it really seems...
Did you catch this?
Well, yeah. I mean, we're talking now about the progression, but it seems a hard slog to get from Veil 1 for some people through to Veil 9. And I can see why a lot of people don't get there.
And with the current calculations on this one, only 60,000 people who are on this planet now can successfully pierce the 6th level. You know, the
Downfall
7th
for most of us.
the 7th whale is somewhere where abundance comes into play. And the abundance, if it's material for you, if you live for your credit card, or if you live to buy things, if you live to indulge yourself in this life, then sorry, it just doesn't work that way. It works that way if you know how to extract the spirit out of what you have, what you do. Because at a point where you give up, quit owning stuff, you are given the world. Because the man who has nothing to lose has everything to gain.
That's absolutely right. And sadly, for most people, very difficult to let go of
It's not sad.
the greed.
It's not sad
You think
because
those people